Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Got some combat clips here before we get into our main review. We are talking about the current campaign ship, the Z-44. The Z-44 is the sister ship of the Z-35, just up a couple of tiers. So keep that in mind when you are listening to this review. Both the Z-35 and the Z-34 are Type 1936B destroyers built for the Kriegsmarine. The class consisted of 5 destroyers, 3 of which were built, and 2 were not finished, including the Z-44. So essentially you got the smaller 128mm main guns. I can't speak for the Z-35 off the top of my head, but the Z-44 allegedly has improved AA over the 1936A type destroyers out there. Alright, did I kill somebody while I was blabbing in my mouth? Yeah, I killed somebody using torpedoes. That's what this destroyer is all about. Let me show you what it's not all about. Even though those 128s are pretty good guns, here we're fighting a tier up against the Daring, and you can see the Daring got one more gun barrel, and it has the ability to smoke sonar, and at that point, you're just kind of a sitting duck. You know, I'm sonared up, even though I'm moving in, presenting, not really a whole lot of profile. Not only am I spotted by all the other ships out there, I am spotted by the ship that I'm trying to kill, and he's just free to whittle me down until I can move in close enough to spot him. And then at that point, it's a little too late. I'm trying to get these turrets around, and I am thinking about launching, but at the end of the day, killed by another ship off screen. So that's the problem with this ship. It is not very good at gunfighting, and especially not if you're running the commander, which I've been telling everybody to run in it. Maximilian von Spee. He is the concealment / torpedo commander. Because this ship has a bias towards torpedoes, that is who I recommend in this ship. Alright, I think this is going to be the gameplay match for real. We're in the Z-44. We're on whatever this map is called. Islands Weiss, maybe. And we're in the Z-44, 1936B class destroyer, sunk during an air raid in 1944. Before it was completed later, they raised the hull and scrapped it. Am I going to look at the teams? Maybe in a second. All right, maybe I'm not going to look at the teams. At some point, I guess I will. All right, really quickly, damage record for the Z-44, 204,353, no base XP record. I expect that to change. I think this ship is capable of higher damage than 200,000 just because it's a torpedo boat. And at the end of the day, even when you're wounded, you can stack up the damage in a torpedo boat. And that's what we're going to do here today. Obviously, we're not getting anywhere close to the damage record. But I think it's a pretty respectable damage game. I want to say I think this is my 4th match in the Z-44. I played probably about 12 to 15 matches now, and I was able to replicate a similar amount of damage in another match. So definitely possible. All right, it is Islands of Ice. It is a domination match. Quick look at the other team. I think the one enemy destroyer is a Hayate. And good for me, there are no aircraft carriers. I want to say the most airplanes I've shot down in a Z-44 is 9. So even though allegedly, according to design notes, this had increased AA, it is not a great AA destroyer. And I would say, generally speaking, German destroyers don't have great AA, with the exception of ZF6. And maybe there's another one I just can't think of at the moment. But ZF6 is one that stands out to me that's easily capable of getting the clear sky if you are targeted by carriers for any length of time. All right, so we're here in the Bravo cap. We do get a solo base cap. Really quickly going back to WoW's builds, Sigma of the Z-44 2.0, fires per minute 3.80, overmatch of the armor piercing 9mm, and the arming threshold is 22mm, torpedo reaction time 7.35 seconds in the Z-44. Going over to wiki.wargaming.net, max dispersion 98mm, the HE shell velocity 830 meters per second, AP shell velocity 830 meters per second. Both shells weigh 28 kilos, if that's meaningful to you. All right, moving out here of the Bravo cap, we decided to go towards Charlie because I'm that kind of guy. I'm hoping to engage the Schieffelin with my torpedoes. And I do have the Epic Torpedo mod. You'll see that in the port after the match. But I do have that uploaded. I recommend uploading that, especially if you're doing a torpedo build. And I recommend doing a torpedo build. Essentially everybody, including Wargaming, has told you this is a torpedo boat. So do what it says on the tin. It says it's a torpedo boat. Play it like one. I also don't recommend Blue Furiora and Mosquito Brutes. As entertaining as that might be at low level, I don't think it's that entertaining at the higher levels. You're just not going to do meaningful damage for your team. But that being said, I think somewhere I have a fleet match involving a triple division of G101s all running Blue Furiora and Mosquito Brutes. So perhaps that will be tomorrow's video for your entertainment. Our VGC fleet match of the week. All right, got a Yoshino over there. Torpedoes moving in on Schieffelin. Believe the Schieffelin maneuvered out of the way or slowed down at some point. So none of those torpedoes will hit. Here we had to turn our ship to get the front launcher on. The front launcher cannot shoot all the way to the rear. So please keep that in mind when you're using this ship. And you can see there's an equal dead zone to the front for the rear torpedo launcher. Got a Yoshino trying to keep the island in between me and him in case he sonars. Still waiting on our torpedoes on the Schieffelin, and I think he was killed before they could do anything. So instead I will launch this toward the intended path of Yoshino. And then we're just going to kind of hang out here on the other side of the island. So yeah, I discourage gunfighting in the ship. I discourage attracting the attention of the aircraft carrier. I discourage Blue Furiora in this destroyer. So my recommendations are build it as a sneaky torpedo boat of the German variety. Is it going to be as good as a Japanese torpedo boat? No. The torpedoes generally do about 7,000 less damage per strike. But that being said, you can see once I exit the smoke, we are still pretty concealable with a fully max von Spee. My concealability is 4.9 kilometers. All right, there's another ship over here. I'm trying to see him. My teammates who are risk averse are screaming at me to get back because they know the safest part of the battlefield is won at the back of the map. I just don't like playing that way unless I'm in a sniper battleship. All right, so here's why you should not use Blue Furiora. So I'm coming around the mountain. Yamato takes away half my health. And I say, well, you might take half my health, but at the very least, I'm going to get some torpedo strikes on you. So there's 3, and here are 5, and the Yamato still has plenty of health left. So he hit the Yamato with 8 torpedoes. They probably did about 10,000 damage each, and we took off 80,000 damage, and the Yamato still has plenty of health left. So really, they probably took about 70,000 damage off, because I think the Yamato has about 90,000 health. So yeah, 8 torpedo strikes. You would think that would finish off a ship like Yamato. No, it didn't. And so luckily the islands here smartly I guess. He goes around the island, which allows me to run away and establish my concealment again. So thank you, Yamato Commander. If he had just hung out, it's not like I wouldn't have got a reload very quickly. Although now he's open to damage from my teammates. Speaking of reload, we do have a reload already. So it is generally a pretty quick reload for this destroyer. I want to say just over a minute. Yamato is about to die. I'm not going to try to kill pinch. I'll let my teammates take that one. And I will just continue my turn here. And I will fly under his airplanes and go back to the Alpha Cap and try to cap that out. Just a quick note, 8 torpedoes, 64,000 damage. I was talking about 70,000. I guess I just could have looked at the screen and seen how much damage I did. All right, Hayate over there. We will launch our torpedoes that away because there are no ships over here. And I really don't have anything to worry about. And just taking a look in the distance at Hayate. And yeah, we are going to fire him up because he's pretty damaged. And we set him, no we don't set him on fire. We don't get a kill pinch at all. But as a consolation prize, we do shoot down an airplane from the Yamato. Alright, resetting the match. Our team has killed 5 enemy ships. We have killed, they have killed 4 of our ships. We have 1 cap, sort of, that's being contested. They have 1 cap. We have a points lead. And I am going to cap Alpha for our team. You can see a Minotaur out there in the distance. And we get a torpedo strike from one of our wayward torpedoes on the Minotaur. So I am not going to complain about that at all. I'm just going to accept it. Minotaur is out of torpedo range now because he thinks probably that I'm much closer to him than I really am. And so again, you are not a gunboat, so engaging ships at the end of your range is just a bad idea, in my opinion. Speaking of bad ideas, the scoreboard's kind of all tied up. We have lost our points lead. That being said, the Minotaurs chased out of the cap circle, so we regain control of the Bravo cap, and I get my second solo base cap of the Alpha cap. And so now our team is gaining points at twice the rate of the enemy team. And this is how you start to tilt the sands of the hourglass towards your side in a domination match. They are now fighting the cap clock. All right, Stalingrad out there, Minotaur out there. We're moving back to Bravo. We're going to take the fight to the Bravo cap and make the enemy team defend their cap from us, or we're going to defend our cap from them, either way. But we don't just want to give up the Bravo cap at the very least. We want those points to count as much as they can. All right, so the enemy ship has gone into it, probably the Stalingrad, Montana over here. So this is a good idea by the enemy team, pushing hard into this cap circle. They have a points lead, and by flipping this cap, they're going to maintain that points lead if they can continue to do that. All right, we got about just under 7,000 hit points left. So, I mean, not a lot of hit points. Almost a third, a little bit more than that. All right, we're radared probably by the Stalingrad. I will send some torpedoes his way. Stalingrad does shoot at me and does a big chunk of damage. But I'm a torpedo boat, so I'm not essentially trying to gunfight them. I do get some cap defended flags. I did shoot at Stalingrad. I'm spotted by radar. What did I have to lose? The answer is nothing. Now I'm safely behind an island. You're going to see how safe in just a minute. Here come the shells, just barely missing my ship from multiple directions. So in the ship, you got to use those islands to your advantage. We do get a torpedo strike on Stalingrad. It is not ticking flooding that I can see, but we're just short of 90,000 damage at the moment. Here, I'm going to start to nose out. And am I going to launch at Montana? He appears to be turning in. So I will cut my torpedoes in, and then I'm going to turn away. I'm going to give up the cap for my health. By the way, we're down another ship here. And you can see Stalingrad is moving out. Those torpedoes look okay. They don't look great. And I don't really see the need to launch at Montana there. We do get another torpedo strike. We're up to 98,000 total damage. So instead, I'm going to save the second set of torpedoes for Stalingrad. I'm going to launch right on the indicator. And at this point, I just think having myself be seen is a way to die quickly. So I'm not going to shoot, although I am going to keep my guns aimed towards the Stalingrad. Torpedoes moving in. Stalingrad's going to turn in. He's going to miss the first one. 1, 2 torpedo strikes. A couple of cap defended flags. We do set them on fire. I'll launch my second set of torpedoes into the gap and try to set the Montana on fire here really quickly. Now we're spotted. We do get some more cap defended flags. Second salvo out. And we do not set him on fire. We do get another torpedo strike. He does flood. I'm trying to finish off this Buffalo, pardon me, and he turns in and we get taken out. And I don't even get a kill pinch at the end of that match. All right, so while that wasn't a win, I think it's a good illustration of what this ship is good at. Here on the defeat screen in the Z-44, 136,549 total damage, 14 torpedo strikes, 9 cap defended flags, 2 solo base caps. We ended up with 366,284 silver and over 4,000 ship XP and commander XP in a loss. So I'm imagining if this was a win, those numbers would be incredible, the XP numbers, or at the very least, probably put us over 3,000 base XP. That's just a wag based on what I think, but all in all, I think this is a really strong match. Here we are at the top of the board for our team in the loss, 2,033 base XP. That would have put us 4th on the enemy team. So it was a good match. It would have been nicer if we had killed more ships. Maybe if I gotten all the torpedoes on the Yamato, we might have been able to finish them off. But at the end of the day, it's a torpedo boat, folks. Don't overthink this. Just put the torpedo commander in there. Play it as a torpedo boat. All right, here in the port, we got aiming systems mod 1, propulsion mod 2, concealment system mod 1, steering gears, and torpedo launchers mod 3. Since this, I've upgraded to the epic mod. Here in the consumables, 2 charges of the smoke generator, 2 charges of the engine boost. Pretty standard. No sonar, unfortunately. Common battle booster for speed. Type 9 permanent camouflage. And the special Z-44 flag. 19,400 hit points with our build. Got those 5 128 millimeter turrets, 10.7 kilometer firing range. I think that's a 4.6 second reload, 20-second turn time. HE shells 1,500 max damage, 6% fire chance. AP shells 3,000 max damage. Close in broadside cruiser, you're going to mess them up with that armor piercing. Torpedoes, 2 quintuple tube launchers, reload in 62.1 seconds. Max damage 14,832. 12 kilometer range at 72 knots. I really hate the rework of these stat screens. AA defense, there it is, and it's terrible, so this isn't reworked no matter what the notes from history say. Maybe the Z-44 is getting screwed here by wargaming, who knows. Maneuverability, 37.6 knots, so that's 36 plus the speed boost flag. 760 meter turning circle, 4.4 second rudder shift time. So nothing impressive here at all. It's not fast. It doesn't have a good rudder shift. Concealment, 4.9 on the surface, 2.7 from the air, 2.5 when firing in smoke. All that a mechanic of your commander. All right, 4 matches, 3 victories, kill-death ratio of 0.8. 2 kills with torpedoes, 1 with our guns. Most kills in the match so far, 2. Max damage, as I stated, 136,549 in this match. Max XP, I still haven't cracked 2,500 yet. I'm sure sooner or later I will, because it's a torpedo boat. You can stack up the damage. All right, here's the commander, Maximilian von Spee. Got Deng Shichang and Erich Bay as our inspirations. And this is the build that I recommend quite simply. Torpedo Safari, look at me now, Perceptive, and the unique skill in row 4 on Sunset. And of course, the legendary skill is Unstoppable. Anyway, that is the campaign ship, the Z-44, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Got a couple new subscribers recently. Thank you for subscribing. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully that G101 Wolfpack match with Blue Furiora. And you can see just how entertaining Mosquito Brutes can be. See you tomorrow, folks.